Hello there, guys. It's me, Cartoon Fanatic here, and today I'll be reviewing Samurai Jack. This video is basically me rambling things about what makes Samurai Jack such a really good show, and just it it's basically like top three Cartoon Network. It is that good, and yeah, it's hard to believe it's only 20 years old. And it still holds up really well to this day. It is such a visual masterpiece of a show. Just everything about the show works. The premise is simple, but it's so effective because of the great stylized animation, the great use of choreography, the sound design, which is just the sound design is just absolutely fantastic, and it just really makes those quieter moments of Samurai Jack really just not be boring, and just it's absolutely visually immersive. I mean, if not done right, this show could have been just a very boring show to. It could have been just a show that is just absolutely boring, but because of the stylized animation, the great use of choreography, the sound design, and the action is just it and the great use of action and how they do the action in the show. It just makes the show just absolutely just really it's like it's an absolute experience, and it again it there's nothing there was nothing like Samurai Jack before, and there's still nothing like it now. It it's such a very unique show, and it's like I said, it's so great. It's like if you haven't watched Samurai Jack, just watch it. It, it's just an absolute great show, and as we get into and despite the show being the show's premise is it, like it's an episodic show. It's basically it a very few things recur in about very very few things come back in of our that was in previous episodes come back, and even though the show at the beginning it kind of pretended it was gonna be a more serialized show, but it isn't. But again, that's not a problem because the like the world, the actual the scenarios are just and like I said, the other great quality of Samurai Jack that I said before, it doesn't matter. It's still it doesn't really need it. It's still a great show, and the episodes are still really good, just really good episodes. Like the first three, the premiere movie, the Birth of Evil, Jack versus the Scotsman, um, what's it? Princess and the Bounty Hunters, that of a film noir episode of Samurai. A lot of those kinds of episodes are so. A lot of them can be like really unique and differ from each other, and just but it doesn't feel out of place. It's still it comes together as a really it like I said, it's just it really knows how, what it wants to be and strives at what it tries to be and just nails it. It's and that's the first four seasons. Season five, um, the season that was on Adult Swim is like the first three episodes of it are really good, and they're up there, like they're like in the top 10 of the best episodes of Samurai Jack. It really does up the ante and gives a really great complex story for Jack. And and how he has to fight the daughters of a coup, and basically and the action is just it's like it's even it really ups it up, and it's like the old series never left, and and it uses and it uses its adult uh, um its adult the fact that it's on Adult Swim. It uses it to its advantage, and it just really it it it, it really does something really good with it. And sadly, it went it it went downhill. I know this is. I know I'm basically I know I'm basically just just repeating what's been said before, but it does go downhill. I still think episode 4 is very good, but I think after the problem is that Ashley's character development, um, uh, who was one of the daughters of a coup who didn't die, I mean, who didn't get killed by Jack, uh, her arc is rushed. It's incredibly rushed. I know what they were trying to do, and there were some really good ideas there. It just does not. I don't buy it because it's just absolutely really rushed. I mean, basically, as soon as she sees the ladybug, which was the thing that kind of showed us that there was more to her than her just being a killing machine. It just and she just turns as she it feels that she automatically just turns a new leaf and starts to become a good person. I don't buy that. I really don't. It comes off as bad writing, in my opinion. You can't just like just minutes ago she was trying to kill Jack, as she really did not want to be with him, and now she's just turned a new leaf. and and that comes off with the bigger problem that the pacing is just not very good. Like, also they have this subplot with Scaramouche trying to, you know, it just takes up time, and I mean him trying to tell Aku that Jack lost his sword, even though Aku, it's it, it just why spend time with that? And also they tried to set up this romance between Jack and Ashley, which it seemed it, why it didn't it like there was little to no indication of that. And like I said, I mean, and same with Ashley's arc, it's rushed. It's incredibly rushed. Like, what? Why? Just and and the ending, and I mean, to be fair, there are a few good episodes there, but it went downhill. It just did not reach the same heights of the first few episodes, and the pacing and the writing the pacing suffered, and that and that and the finale. The finale is just it's not terrible, but again, it's the same thing that I've just been saying. The pacing, it just it just really it there are things around that just weren't set up very well and just come off as really rushed, and the fact they try to do this, I would suggest to watch it for yourself, season 5, and just see why it just did not end off that well. Though the final scene with Jack is a beautiful scene, I will say that. But season 5 is not the worst, but it just it needed a few more episodes for the pacing to just become really tight, and just things to just really come together, and and yeah. But overall, it's still a really good show, and I still recommend you check out Samurai Jack. It still holds up to this day. And with that said, bye for now. See me in the next video.